Shalom, friends. It's Rabbi Jenny Solomon here at Beth Meyer Synagogue with a Mincha moment. So this week's Torah portion is titled Hayei Sarah, the life of Sarah, or the lives of Sarah. But of course, it begins with the death of Sarah. And of course, Jewish commentators have much to say about the opening words of this week's Torah portion and this connection between life and death. But at its most basic level, to me, this line and this opening of the Parsha always reminds me that in Judaism, life and death are intimately connected. First of all, there's an awareness that all of us are mortal, that we will all eventually die. But also that an awareness of death is not something to be feared, but rather helps us. That awareness guides us in leading lives of meaning and purpose and gratitude. So in that spirit, I wanted to share 3 practices, Jewish practices associated with death that I find particularly powerful. The first one is upon hearing of the death of a loved one, or just before a funeral. There are multiple moments in which this can happen, but it's sort of before the burial of a loved one, and upon hearing the news of the death of a loved one, we do the ritual of kriya. Kriya means to tear. And traditionally, this means tearing or ripping some part of our clothing. It's very common today for people to sort of attach a black ribbon over their hearts and to tear that ribbon. But the idea is the same, that we externalize this tear on the outside that we feel on the inside. And I know for me that the last month has felt like a prolonged period of mourning. It's kind of like I feel like wearing a kriya ribbon on the outside as a sort of regular expression of my own internal state, and as a way of communicating to the world what it feels like for me on the inside. The second practice that I want to share is that when we tear this ribbon, or upon hearing the news of the death of someone, we say the words, Baruch Dayan Ha'emet, blessed is the true judge. These are hard words to say, but I believe that these words offer us the opportunity to train in being with the truth, even when it is excruciatingly difficult. Even when it's the truth that we wish was otherwise. We sort of bless the one, even in our pain. And finally, I wanted to share that the rituals associated with eulogizing somebody who has died and even filling the grave when we bury somebody, those collection of rituals are part of a tradition of what we call chesed shel emet, loving kindness born of truth. One understanding is that we call these acts chesed shel emet because the person who has died will never be able to repay us. They're a form of chesed, of loving kindness, of the deepest kind, because they are pure. We're not going to be repaid in any kind of way. But I also want to suggest that they are acts of love that we practice, that we cultivate in the face of the truth, which is that we're all mortal, that our time here is limited, and that it's not forever. And I want to suggest that all of these rituals, and there are many more, help us in building the muscles that we need, the spiritual muscles, in training in being with pain, with truth, with loss, with endings, all with a quality of love, of open-heartedness, of softened hearts, of torn hearts. And I'm really proud to be part of an inheritance, a Jewish tradition that does not hide from mortality, that doesn't want us to sort of cover over or sort of make beautiful the experience of death, but rather helps us be with endings, helps us be with loss, helps us be with pain, helps us be with the truth, the emet, with chesed, with love. So if you, like me, are struggling and feeling the heaviness and the darkness and the difficulty of these days, I join you. I join you, and our Torah this week points to the intimate connection between the acknowledgement of death and endings, and also of the ways in which we continue on in life, and more specifically, we march on in love, chesed. All right, friends, hang tight. Shalom. Peace.